Modern sex dolls have evolved significantly over the last decade, becoming more realistic and customizable. Demand for sex dolls has increased dramatically in recent years. Sex dolls are typically made of TPE, or thermoplastic elastomer, or silicone, and sometimes both materials. This was one of the more recent TPE dolls that was sent to us, and it had one of the most detailed faces for a TPE material that we've ever seen. Normally it's silicone that has a really good detailed look. TPE is a lot softer and squishier and squeezyabilier in your hands than silicone is. Silicone is more dense, but it's also durable and much more stain and bacteria resistant than TPE is. TPE is more prone to stains and rips and tears, which is why silicone is more expensive than TPE. Over the years, us storing TPE dolls, most of them ended up severely ripped, torn, and stained. She's got eyelashes that she's not afraid to take off and stab a bitch. And we have yet to understand the reasoning why this one happened to stay in pretty good shape with no rips. This is also partly on us. We would store some in certain positions that you probably shouldn't store them in, and we didn't really take the best care or anything to keep everything well lubricated. This video is a comparison between the two materials, TPE and silicone, and we're also showing it through this side-by-side comparison of this older TPE doll versus this newer, more modern silicone doll that was sent to us from Starpery. She's got some more advanced features, which we'll get into a little bit later, while the TPE doll has just got some big old bombs. This is an old school versus new style sex doll, or what do they call it? Gangster? Old time gangster style? Old OG, old gangster. And right here we're showing the difference in squishiness of the materials, and you can see how the silicone here is a much more firm, where the TPE and the other doll is much more squishy. You can grab it and shake it and move it around. If you ask me, the silicone is more realistic in terms of, maybe not the nose honking schnoz. That's the firmness of the face. And in this particular head, it's considered a hard silicone head, where you can have a silicone head that's a softer silicone material, where the jaw could open and the face is a little more, I guess the best word to use is squishy. TPE sex dolls generally range from about $1,000 to $2,000 or US dollars, and silicone sex dolls typically range from $2,000 to $5,000 US dollars or higher, depending on the features. Now, does not this girl's head look exactly like Galadriel from season 1 of Rings of Power? I have yet to watch season 2 because I finished watching House of the Dragon season 2 and it was so draggy. So now I'm afraid to watch Rings of Power season 2. One of the best silicone features is the ability for it to retain fine skin textures, realistic grooves and lines and wrinkles and folds and moles and nails and knuckles and knees and elbows. Oh my. Also, the material allows for hair to be embedded into it rather than resorting to wigs, and highly detailed coloring. Wow, look at how realistic that foot looks. I can't imagine what the other foot looks like. And also the pussy and We've also found out the hard way that TPE has a tendency to stain, like when we put on these micro bikinis with that shiny material. Even the cloth material, it seems to soak in the color and dyes like a sponge after a while. Whereas the silicone, we haven't experienced any of that. And even in one of our latest music videos, we drew on the face of this doll with dry erase marker and left it there for a week to see if it would come off, and it ended up coming off with no problem. We weren't even going to try this with the TPE. We've had great luck with all of our silicone dolls, even Galadriel here. And this one from Starpery, her name is Gil. She's 172 centimeters, about 5 foot 7 inches. She's silicone, and she's got a big old booty and big old boobies, or breasts. And if you find yourself on the Starpery website and you end up wanting to buy something, you can use our code JOKESTRAP for $350 US off. And this TPE doll is about 5 feet tall with big old boobies and a thick old rump and legs, her butt. One of the best sex doll features we've come across is Starpery's weight reduction technology. Basically, they build a doll and it weighs a lot less than normal dolls would weigh. As you can see, this taller, denser material doll is only about 82 or 3 pounds, whereas this 5-foot doll, about 7 inches shorter, with the TPE material is 20 pounds heavier than that. And this Gil doll has the weight reduction 3.0 technology, and they've recently come out with 4.0, and there's a doll on its way to us to review with the 4.0 tech. Gil is sporting some gel breasts, and they move and feel a lot more like real breasts than these solid TPE ones. The solid TPE is just all TPE material, like a mound of it, whereas the gel breasts feel like you're squishing and squeezing something soft and supple and sleepy, something you can nuzzle your head into and take a nap. She's also got embedded hair, which we showed you earlier. And this TPE head has a wig, whereas at least you can change out the wig for a variety of different looks. But you can't bend her over and tug on her hair from behind if that's something you like to do. And Gil's mouth is sealed shut because of the hard head material versus this TPE mouth hole that can be used for sticking things into it. And the mouth cavity is almost 6 inches deep, or an undeterminable amount of centimeters. Gil has the latest heating technology integrated into her body, and you plug it in and you can connect your app to it to adjust the heating. She has a built-in CPU with 10 temperature sensors throughout her body. The heat goes throughout the entire body and heats up to 40 degrees Celsius, about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Basically the temperature of a real person's body, or inside of a person's body, depending on where you take the temperature. But it says it takes a few hours to heat to full temperature, so it's something that you have to like set it and forget it for a little bit. The old school, OG TPE doll is a bit cooler in temperature, but you can get insertable heaters that will warm up any of the holes. Or you can use your own natural heater. I'm talking about your dick. In case it wasn't already assumed, both dolls have vaginal and anal orifices, or holes. You can also choose between a built-in vagina or insertable vagina, which is basically a tube that's stuffed all up in that hole that you can pull out, wash out separately, and squeeze it back in. And the removable vagina they have for TPE or silicone dolls. So if you're looking for your first doll and you don't want to spend the extra money, you may want to consider a TPE doll that will last a lot longer than we've been able to get them to last if you take good care of it. But if cash isn't an issue, which most people it is, you may want to consider a silicone sex doll. You can also get some great advice from doll owners online in the Doll Forum website, so check that out. We have no affiliation with them. It's just a great place to go for any topic sex doll related. And if you end up on the Starpery website to buy anything, use that code JOKESTRAP for $350 off.